Today's episode is brought to you by GetSkinnyOnline.com, your source of medically guided GLP-1 weight loss services online. You'll find popular peptides like Semaglutide and Tirzepatide in injectable, liquid, and pill forms to make your weight loss journey easy. Go to GetSkinnyOnline.com or check the show notes for the link. Now, here's your hosts.
If you're a man over 40 and you've been feeling flat lately, tired in the afternoons, foggy, maybe your workouts don't hit like they used to, there's a good chance somebody has told you it's just your testosterone tanking with age, and there's an even better chance you've seen an ad promising to fix it. But here's the part almost nobody tells you. A lot of what men blame on aging testosterone isn't actually about age at all. Which is honestly such a relief to hear, because the story we've all absorbed is that after 40, it's just a slow slide downhill, and there's nothing you can do. And I think a lot of guys quietly panic about that. So today we're talking about testosterone after 40, what really changes, what doesn't, and this newer angle that surprised me, which is what the GLP-1 weight loss medications everyone's talking about actually do to men's hormones. Right, and that GLP-1 piece is genuinely one of the more interesting shifts in this whole conversation. But let's start with the myth, because it's a big one. The classic line is that testosterone drops 1 to 2% per year after 30, and that number does show up in the research. But it's not the whole picture. Not even close. There's a really well-regarded model built from 13 studies of healthy men, and what it found is that average testosterone peaks around age 19, settles down by about 40, and then in healthy men, it basically plateaus. It doesn't keep falling with age the way we've been told. What actually changes after 40 is the variation. Some men stay right where they were, and others drop a lot. So the age isn't the driver. Something else is separating those two groups. Exactly. And when researchers look at what separates them, the biggest reversible factor is metabolic health, weight in plain terms. There's a large European study of aging men that found only about 2% of men over 40 have what they'd call true age-related low testosterone once you account for everything else. 2%. That's tiny compared to how often we hear about it. It is, and here's the mechanism in plain English. Extra body fat, especially around the middle, does two things. It converts testosterone into estrogen at a higher rate, and it quiets down the signal from your brain that tells your body to make testosterone in the first place. Doctors call that functional or obesity-related hypogonadism, and the key word is functional, meaning it's often reversible. So this is where weight loss enters the story, and where the GLP-1 medications come in. This is exactly where they come in. So GLP-1 medications, these are the weight loss and diabetes drugs like Semaglutide and Tirzepatide you've heard of as Ozempic, Wegovy, Mounjaro, and Zepbound. And the question researchers started asking was, if obesity lowers testosterone and these drugs drive real weight loss, what happens to men's hormones on them? And I'm guessing the fear was that they'd wreck it, because guys hear weight loss and immediately worry about losing muscle and dropping their T. That was the worry. And the evidence so far actually points the other way. There's a systematic review from this year that pulled together 10 studies, about 639 men, and it consistently found that men with obesity or type 2 diabetes actually saw their total testosterone go up on these medications, not down. Because you're treating the thing that was suppressing it in the first place. That's the whole idea. And there's a really important contrast here with testosterone replacement therapy, TRT, the gels and injections. TRT raises your testosterone from the outside, but it tells your own system to shut down, and it can impair fertility. In these GLP-1 studies, the men's natural hormone signaling stayed intact. One endocrinology team presented this year that for men with obesity-related low T, treating the weight may be a smarter first move than jumping straight to testosterone. Now, I want to slow down here because I know how our listeners...
Quick reminder that today's episode is brought to you by GetSkinnyOnline.com, your source of medically guided GLP-1 weight loss services online. You'll find popular peptides like Semaglutide and Tirzepatide in injectable, liquid, and pill forms to make your weight loss journey easy. Go to GetSkinnyOnline.com or check the show notes for the link. Now, back to the show.
Brains work, mine included. This is not me saying go get a GLP-1 for your testosterone. No, and I'm really glad you're flagging that. Let's be honest about the evidence grade. These are small studies, the results vary, and the benefit is mostly indirect. It's coming from the weight loss, not some magic hormonal switch. None of these medications are approved to treat low testosterone. This is emerging science, not settled science. And there's an over 40 wrinkle that matters a ton here, right? The muscle piece. Huge piece. When you lose weight on a GLP-1, you don't only lose fat, you also lose some lean mass, some muscle. In the big Semaglutide studies, a meaningful chunk of the weight lost was lean tissue, and after 40, we're already fighting age-related muscle loss, what's called sarcopenia. So if you lose muscle on top of that, you can end up lighter but weaker, and that's not the goal. So the protein and the strength training aren't optional here. They're the safety rails. The general target a lot of experts point to for adults over 40 is somewhere around 1.2 to 1.6 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight per day, spread across your meals. And resistance training at least twice a week is really the minimum effective dose to hold onto muscle. If you ever do lose weight, whether it's through a medication or just cleaning up your habits, that combination is what protects the muscle underneath. This feels like the right moment to talk about our sponsor, because it's genuinely relevant to today's topic. It is. Today's episode is supported by Get Skinny Online. If your weight has been the thing quietly driving your energy, your labs, and maybe even your hormones, the safest path is medically guided weight loss with a licensed provider who looks at your whole picture, not a one-size-fits-all plan. Get Skinny Online connects you with licensed providers for exactly that. You can learn more at getskinnyonline.com. And one honest note we always include, because it matters. Some weight loss medications in this space are compounded versions, and compounded products are not FDA approved. The rules around them are actively changing right now, so this is a conversation to have with a licensed provider who can walk you through your options and what's appropriate for you. Well said. And that ties into the big disclaimer for the whole episode. This is education, not medical advice. Nothing here is a diagnosis or a prescription. Before you change your diet, your training, or anything to do with medications or hormones, talk to your own doctor. So let's bring it home. What are the common mistakes you see men over 40 make with all of this? 3 big ones. First, self-diagnosing low T off a symptom list or an online chart and panicking. Second, jumping straight to testosterone therapy without checking whether the real issue is metabolic. And third, chasing weight loss so aggressively that they strip off muscle and feel worse. So give us the 3 takeaways. Takeaway 1. After 40, testosterone doesn't automatically fall off a cliff. The big differences between men are driven mostly by metabolic health, and a lot of that is reversible. Takeaway 2. Because obesity can suppress testosterone, losing weight, including with GLP-1 medications, tends to raise it, not lower it, though that science is still early, and those drugs aren't approved for this. Takeaway 3. If you do lose weight after 40, protein and twice-weekly strength training are what protect your muscle so you end up stronger, not just smaller. And the one action step for this week. One thing. If you've been worried about low testosterone, don't guess from a chart. Book a morning blood test with your doctor, ideally before 10 a.m., and ask them to look at your metabolic health at the same time. One appointment, real answers, instead of months of wondering. I love that. And if this one hit home, do us a favor. Share it with a guy in your life who's been dragging and blaming his age. Leave us a comment about what surprised you, and subscribe so you don't miss what's next. Because it's not too late. It's just different. We'll see you next time.
Thanks for listening. Today's episode was brought to you by GetSkinnyOnline.com, your source for medically guided GLP-1 weight loss services. They have popular peptides like Semaglutide and Tirzepatide in injectable, liquid, and pill forms to make your weight loss journey easy. Go to GetSkinnyOnline.com or check the show notes for the link. See you next time.